So let's get back to this show, which they had here, because at the start of night one, we're seeing a thread being strung up potentially, the Triple H era. Everybody talking about it, and here came Triple H. Welcome to a new time, a new era. Welcome to WrestleMania. And that's all he said, but that was I wrote on my notes, I was like, was it worth the long walk down there? But he wanted to make a point. He's now the babyface in charge of the company. It's not an evil empire anymore. They have finally gotten, how long have we been talking about? God damn it. How much longer can they all be evil? And the answer is they don't need to be evil anymore. Now the heels can be evil again instead of the company. And the people are responding to it, apparently, because they're hotter than they've been in ages. And so now not only is he the babyface CCO in charge, but now he's been able to babyface the good McMahon member, his wife Stephanie. Don't judge her by her blood, judge her by her marriage. She's the one McMahon that the name can be mentioned on television, which we'll get to at night two. But they've transformed it. Now the company doesn't have to be the heels anymore. It opens it up except for the board of directors guy. And this way they have rectified a wrong that's been existing for quite some time, in that the reason why AEW had a brief flash of fucking, can't say brilliance, spark of life before they settled firmly in the fucking bottom of the bowl, was because people were so mad at the WWE as a promotion. Is that not what we've been saying for years?
People were wrestling fans and they were fed up with the biggest promotion being run by Vince McMahon, not necessarily because of him, but the style of wrestling he was promoting. Now you could say it's because of him completely, but it was really the style and the presentation.
The style of it, and the fact that you couldn't count on there being a beacon of authority in the company, because you could never trust Vince, right? He always wanted to be a heel. He was a great heel for years, but not for years and years and years and years. Anyway, but what did you think, Brian, of Triple H's brief but poignant statement?
Well, you said it. I don't know if you got to see the press conferences either night, but after night two, Triple H addressed it. He said Paul Heyman's really the one that did it. He started calling it the Paul Levesque era. Now that's a thing. Who knows if that's really the way it was conceived. But he said it's not just me. It's me, it's Lee Fitting, the head of production, and it's Nick Khan. And if you think about it, instead of one Vince McMahon-like creature at the top, you got someone who could worry about just the wrestling. You got someone who can make the business deals that make the wrestling work. And you got someone who can find a way to make it look different than it ever has before and better than ever before. It's a winning combination. You wonder about Vince's influence. I mean, as long as he has one of his dildos still there, he's got influence, and Bruce Pritchard's still there, and that's what he is. So, we got to be honest about it.
You would never name an instrument of that description after, well, Brother Love.
Brother Love.
But anyway, nevertheless, all of his instruments may be neutralized for that use, though. They got to follow along in the new path.
But the fans are with it. Like you said, I mean, Stephanie's accepted. I mean, she got, if there were any boos, they were minimal when she came out night two, and at the Hall of Fame, nothing. I mean, people were happy to see her, I think, in a way. People were happy to get away from Vince, and whoever's on the other side, I think they're willing to accept.
That may have been the canary in the coal mine, her being there without much, just being in the crowd at the Hall of Fame. Why shouldn't she be able to be there? But at the same time, there was no outcry, ban her. So then Triple H got the great reaction on night one. And I understand in internal documents, they had Triple H going out in her place in night two, but then here came Stephanie, and the response was fine. And, same thing is that they're pushing the tagline that this is the either the Triple H era, the Paul Levesque era, but it's a new era, and they have baby-faced those members of that family that were, by the accounts that we've heard and stuff we've talked about, they were the ones trying to avoid Vince for the last few years. Like, Jesus Christ, they left when he came and came when he left.
Well, what was left on WrestleMania? Was that it? Was that WrestleMania?
It was that? No, that was the whole show. Yes.